Welcome to this Monday, July 24th edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On today's episode, we've got some great retirement advice from Edward Jones, and we'll be catching up with Kate Mapp, a longtime Park City librarian. But one quick announcement before we get started. We will not be joining you as normal next weekend for Wasatch Weekends, as we are going to be installing some new equipment here at Park City TV. That might mean some intermittent outages of the TV station and on our website at parkcity.tv. Though, in the meantime, we're going to be taking a look back at some of our favorite Park City TV programming with a little bit of a retro look. But we will be back as normal Friday, August 4th. Now, let's take a quick look at some local weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. A little while ago, I had the opportunity to catch up with Edward Jones and AgeWave about a new study they did on how to help us improve our chances at retiring well. Let's take a listen. Welcome back to the show. A new study by Edward Jones and AgeWave shows that about 93% of retirees agree that preparation and flexibility is a key to success in retirement. And we've got Lena Haas and Dr. Ken Dykewald joining us now from Edward Jones and AgeWave. Welcome to the show.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
So what kind of was the impetus for this study that you guys took on?
So we wanted to understand how we can most help over 8 million clients that Edward Jones have, as well as just pre-retirees and retirees across North America. And so it was very important for us to understand what retirees themselves view as success in retirement and what kind of choices they make that really puts them on that path to success. We saw to that first point is that retirees really view success differently from their parents say. They don't view it as just time for leisure. They view it as a time to try out new adventures, be active, be purposeful, be engaged. And so that, coupled with the fact that longevity is increasing, really led our retirees to share with us that key to success in retirement is number one, readiness, and in terms of having a plan and thinking through that. But number two is your approach. How do you respond to change? Is it with an attitude that allows for action and positive course corrections? That just makes all the difference between sort of surviving and really thriving in retirement.
So did you guys find in your studies that the retirees found that the flexibility was more important for them dealing with any potential changes, any challenges that might arise, or changes in financial conditions? Or do you think it was more important for them to have that freedom to explore new things and kind of change up their routine?
It was all of the above. We found that people viewed it as kind of a holistic dynamic in life that included finances, but also included family and purpose and health. And what people realized was that different than their grandparents, instead of having a couple of 3 years before their batteries wore out, today's pre-retirees and retirees feel that they have a whole new chapter in life in front of them that might have 25 years and they haven't been really trained or educated or guided as to how to make the most of it. So they're curious. They want to learn. What can I do? Can I go back to work? What are the benefits if I've been widowed or divorced of falling in love again? Should I get a housemate? Maybe I should relocate. Should I earn some more money doing kind of a side hustle? And instead of thinking of retirees as kind of yesterday's version of old people, now, you think of Mick Jagger at 80, think of Springsteen selling out the world at 73. There's Martha Stewart at 81 being on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit. And now you're seeing that people are beginning to envision that there may be a new retirement in front of them, and they want some help in trying to figure out how to thrive in those years.
So would you guys recommend any key areas to focus on for retirees or pre-retirees who are really trying to take advantage of that new chapter in life?
Yes, absolutely. So Ken, you just mentioned the 4 key areas, right? And I'll talk briefly to each of them. In terms of health, this is an area where intuitively say, oh, people procrastinate. It was very positive to see that over half actually take action in terms of adjusting their physical level of activity and their mental stimulation. Family. This was kind of interesting because we saw that not only is it important to think about how you very deliberately spend time with those you love, but also how do you spend less time with people whom you might consider toxic to you. And then purpose. This was actually one of my favorite findings in the survey. We saw that people who are in service to others, people who volunteer, not only do they say they're feeling purposeful, they're saying they're feeling resilient overall, they're engaged more, they're active, they're more socially there. And so such a great affirmation that serving others, do it good for others, is good for you. And lastly, finances. Everybody says that, gosh, saving as early as you can, continuing to save regularly, saving as much as you can is really important. And then, especially in today's environment of higher interest rates, look at your debt. Do you have high interest debt that is anchoring you down that you could reduce or eliminate? And then above all, take those 4 areas together and have a conversation with your family members and with a financial professional to make sure that the plan is really comprehensive, because I'm sure you can see how all of those 4 areas are really intertwined.
So speaking a little bit about family and finances there, I know that a lot of retirees have some expectation put upon them to help support family members. Is there anything you guys found in your study about that, how family support impacts retirement?
Yeah, it's almost like there's an underground economy going on, and we call it sort of generational generosity, very seldom talked about in the media. But what's happening is that older adults really want their kids to be secure. They want their grandchildren to be happy. They want them to be able to get the best in life. And so there's an enormous amount of subsidy going on between older towards younger. And that's fine, except that many older people probably can't afford it. So while they're busy trying to be the family bank, they may be setting themselves up to run out of money in a few years. So there's going to have to be some new boundaries set up so that older people can say, I love you, you're great, but I can't keep paying your phone bills and I can't keep paying your insurance, and you may need to pay for your own car. Kind of thing that our parents might have done with us, but we got to remember that that could be important going forward.
Absolutely. So just before I let you guys go, is there any advice that you might have for retirees that are really trying to set themselves up for this flexibility? Any parting tips you might have?
Well, what I would say is that in addition to making sure that you have a holistic plan that covers the 4 areas, test drive it. So if you're saying, I'm going to change my life and have a whole new exercise routine, well, try it out for a few weeks. Would it work? Would it make you happy? Or if you say, I'm going to reduce expenses and live on a different kind of budget, try it out for a month. Does it afford you the life that, again, makes you happy, right? So ensure that your plan is holistic, that it's realistic, and that you also bounce off your different ideas of a financial professional so that you have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. And if different unexpected events come your way, you know what to do. You're not in the middle of the situation dealing with emotions. You're really prepared.
You know, I'll add, when John Glenn went up into space at 77, and I knew John, he said, hey, just because I'll be 77 doesn't mean I still don't have dreams. And so I would add to what Lena has said, in that we're learning that more and more 15, 16, 70-year-olds have dreams. You know, there's somebody they want to be. There's some new assignment they want to take on. They want to be a mentor. They want to help kids. They want to help at the church. They want to do more. And so what we've tried to do is we've put out a report with 60 different ways that people can make changes and have new opportunities in their later years. And that report is available totally for free. And it's at www.edwardjones.com/new-retirement.
Well, that certainly answers my next question, which was going to be, where can we go to find some more? But it sounds like www.edwardjones.com/retirement is where we can go to find out more. Thank you so much to Lena Haas of Edward Jones and Dr. Ken Dykewald of New Age. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will be right back with a little bit more show after these messages. Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. The Park City Chamber of Commerce has been featuring some fantastic small town stories, and today's small town story is about Kate Mapp, a longtime Park City librarian. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Small Town Stories presented by the Park City Chamber, and today we have the honor of speaking with Kate Mapp. She's Adult Services Librarian at Park City Library. We're going to talk about her background, her talents, and education that she brings to the library and collections, and in creating a community living room for us right here in Park City. Kate, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me more about your job as Adult Services Librarian. You bring so much to that. It's about curation and many more things to you.
Yeah, so as an adult services librarian, I focus on programming for ages 18 and over. So lifelong learning and, you know, really helping support the community with their needs, their goals, and then also challenges as well, and trying to help, you know, supply and provide access to information, depending if it's digital, in print, or, you know, video, to help them, you know, find their way and hobbies and jobs and interests and all that stuff.
Well, it's about books and finding that important aspect of it. You also bring in many more things, as you just mentioned. In fact, you've coined it a community living room, our Park City Library. Tell me more about that and some of the collections that you've curated for this.
Yeah, so, you know, I helped develop the fiction, adult fiction collection, and then part of the nonfiction. And then we have a Park City history room that we, you know, are dedicated to, you know, preserving the Park City history and giving access to it as well. And so those are all super fun things, but also really important things for the community to know that we preserve that information, and then also it's accessible to them. And then also the past year, I've been working on the Sustainability Resource Center, which is a center located on the first floor of our library, in between, you know, the children and teen section, and then also near our You Create lab. And it's a center point for people to come and find information about sustainability and how to live healthier lives, you know, as we transition into climate change, and, you know, trying to protect our community and our environment as well. And then also our You Create lab, which is a you know, kind of a maker space, you could call it, of a lot of electronics, technology that people can check out and also use at the library, and also supplementing programs for those areas. So, you know, right now we're doing digitization class, and so I can provide information about how to digitize your memories and, you know, pass them along.
You're taking all of these different elements, and in fact, you have a background in anthropology, and that really adds to what you're doing in this position, bringing in all the different collections, the digitizing different things, the books, and also the elements of an outdoor community that are high priorities, such as sustainability to our community.
Yeah, it's, you know, you almost you take librarianship and anthropology as like a holistic perspective and trying to look at the whole community, the different cultures within your community, and how to best serve them. And that's why librarianship was just like such a perfect, you know, kind of like second or third career that I chose in my life, because it ties all of my passions and interests and education into this one job. And then it also is just a great way to give back to my community, and then also help, you know, support it as well with whatever, you know, avenues people want to go.
And in fact, you came to Park City originally after college to be a ski patroller, which you were for many, many years. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So my parents were ski patrollers at Arapahoe Basin in the 70s, before I was born. And then, you know, that was always part of our family and the stories that were shared around the table. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do that. And so I got my EMT and wanted to, you know, ski patrol. And I had a friend that worked at the canyons, and she's like, you should apply. And so I did. And I loved the canyons because that became my community, my lifelong friends. I met my husband there, and my sister, you know, ended up marrying a ski patroller as well. So it's, you know, it has become now, you know, a family generational thing. And ski patrolling really helped me, you know, get to know the Wasatch Back and the mountains, but as well as, you know, develop my interests, you know, in skiing, but then also my passions with the environment as well.
And you made that change to a librarian about 10 years ago. What do you bring to your job as a librarian that you gained, that experience as being a ski patroller?
Yeah, so, you know, ski patrolling, you're trying to help people find the best trail for them to go down, you know, depending on their skill level, or, you know, you're trying to help them get off the mountain and through a difficult situation, and communicate that way or support them that way. And those skills transfer very well to a librarian, because you're trying to help, you know, maybe someone wants, you know, a self-help book, or trying to go through a challenging time, and you're trying to ask questions to ascertain what is the best information that they need at that time, as well as developing programs. You know, so at the library we have a basic bag program that we work with through the Christian Center, where, you know, we have these bags filled with basic needs, you know, toothbrush, deodorant, you know, a bar, some water, and they can just pick them up, you know, no questions asked or anything, just to get them through to the next day. And, you know, being a ski patroller, you know, those are, you know, things that I learned on the mountain, you know, life necessity and life skills that transferred over into programming for the library. And then also, you know, people come into the library and is like, what do I do? I'm visiting, or where do I go? And so you're kind of like a tour guide, or, you know, a travel agent, where you're like, oh, check out this trail, or you should check out this restaurant. This is really fun. So you're an ambassador to the community, you know, being on the ski hill as well as in the library. So it just is perfect.
We're so fortunate to have you. Our community benefits from your many talents in the library. I want to make sure that people know to come visit the Park City Library. It's so much more than what you expect. How can they get information about what you're doing, your collections, and also visit the library?
Yeah, so our website is just a beautiful website. We redesigned it 2 years ago. And it's almost a great intro to our library, because we have many great photos, so you know what to expect when you come in, like kind of the feel of the library itself. And then also we have a lot of great information on our website with the events and programs, how to get a library card, and then also from our website you can see what's in our collection before coming to the library, and you can place holds. You can, if you don't see what what you want, you can submit a request for purchase or talk to a librarian through email and be like, hey, I need help with this. And so that's a great first access point to the library. And then come on in. We're open 7 days a week, and so it's just a really great place to come and hang out and explore.
I just have a few seconds left, but do you have a favorite spot in the library?
Oh, yes, I do. So it's the reading room on the second floor, and it's quiet, no technology. You can bring your computer, but no cell phones, no talking, which is unique in this day and age. And then also the magazine collection there is wonderful. And then also right outside the reading room is our second floor deck. So it's a really great place to go look at the mountains and enjoy the outside while you're at the library.
Well, thank you so much, Kate, for joining us today. Absolute pleasure meeting you, learning more about you, and we're so appreciative of everything you've done to create our community living room at the Park City Library.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you for watching this Small Town Story, sponsored by the Park City Chamber. We'll see you next time.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
That's all the time that we have for today's Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Don't forget that if you missed any of our episodes, you can always catch us on Park City TV and at parkcity.tv. And don't forget, we'll be back on August 4th. Until then, I'm your host, Ben Roof, and we will see you next time.